This is the Scorecard, where you score the latest sports news and in-depth views. I'm Erika Kristensen. Tonight on the Scorecard, UST sweeps Salle, secures second straight win in UAAP men's volleyball. F1 testing wraps up in Bahrain, and we have all the details. Filipinas first to play on MOA football pitch. Taurasi calls it a career, leaves unmatched legacy in WNBA. Athena League to shine spotlight on Filipina gamers, paves way for women in esports. In the NBA, Cavs crush Magic for 8th straight win, 122-82. While Luka's triple-double fuels Lakers win over Mavs in emotional matchup. And joining us live in the BNC studio, Stallion Laguna's midfielder Natasha Alquiros. All the headlines and more on the Scorecard tonight, the 26th of February. Now, here's a roundup. The University of Santo Tomas Golden Spikers dominated the De La Salle University Green Spikers in straight sets, 25-21, 25-20, 25-16, to notch their second consecutive win in the UAAP Season 87 men's volleyball tournament. Now, despite missing two-time MVP Josh Ibanez due to injury, Popoy Colinares stepped up with 17 points, leading UST to its first UAAP win over LaSalle since April of 2023. UST's well-balanced attack outclassed LaSalle, leading in key statistical categories, including attacks, 40-28, blocks, 11-2, and aces, 8-0. Colinares got ample support from JJ Macam, who contributed 10 points with 4 aces, and J-Rack De La Noche, who chipped in 12 points. The Green Spikers struggled offensively, with Noel Campton limited to just 6 points on 6 of 23 efficiency. LaSalle now drops to a 1-2 record, tying with University of the Philippines at 6th place. UST looks to extend its winning streak against Adamson University on March 1 at the Mall of Asia Arena. All 10 Formula One teams hit the track in Bahrain, getting the first real look at the 2025 cars in action. It was a hectic start to 3 days of testing, giving teams their one and only shot to fine-tune their machines before next month's season opener in Australia. Testing ran in 2 4-hour sessions with a midday break, a chance for teams to switch drivers or tweak setups for different configurations. Now, only one car per team was out at a time, meaning each driver got 12 hours of track time over the course of testing. Teams had flexibility in how they split the sessions, but every driver clocked in at least 4 hours on day one. Lewis Hamilton took the wheel of Ferrari's F25 first, with Kimi Antonelli, Liam Lawson, and Fernando Alonso also putting in laps during the morning session. McLaren, last year's Constructors' champions, came in as the favorites, but did the lap times back that up? Stay tuned for more F1 updates as preseason testing continues. The Philippine women's national football team made history, inaugurating the Mall of Asia football pitch with an intra-squad friendly. Dubbed the Filipinas Homecoming, the match capped off their 9-day training camp, making them the first to play on this engineering marvel in Pasay City. The blue team, mostly newcomers, struck first, but after the break, the white team, led by World Cup veterans, tied the game with a goal from Meryl Serrano. PFF President John Gutierrez joined national team stars like Sarina Bolden, Quinley Quezada, Jacqueline Sawiki, Chandler, and Olivia McDaniel to unveil the FIFA-grade field atop MOA's main building. With 1,800 seats and room to expand, the MOA pitch is set to be a game-changer. The Filipinas hit the field at 7 o'clock in the evening, wrapping up their Manila camp before shifting focus to the AFC Women's Asian Cup qualifiers, ASEAN Women's Championships, and Southeast Asian Games. But the MOA pitch isn't just for the national team. It's actually open for pro, collegiate, semi-pro, and amateur leagues all alike, plus public rentals as well. And this is just the start, you guys. More pitches are coming to Ortigas and Quezon City. Football in the Philippines is on the rise and it is on fire. And the Filipinas just kicked things off in style. After 20 legendary years in the Women's National Basketball Association, Diana Taurasi is hanging up her sneakers finally. The The WNBA, established in 1996 as the premier women's professional basketball league in the United States, has been home to the greatest female hoopers in the world, and Taurasi stands at the top of that list. The Phoenix Mercury icon announced her retirement Wednesday, Manila time, telling Time magazine she no longer had the drive to prepare for another season. Currently at 42, she leaves behind a legacy few can match, which includes winning the WNBA championship 3 times and 6 Olympic gold medals. Tributes immediately poured in for the White Mamba. Mercury owner Matt Ishbia hailed her as the greatest player to ever play the game. Moonton Games has teamed up with CBZN Esports to launch the Athena League, the first ever Philippine Pro League qualifier for the Mobile Legends Bang Bang Women's Invitational, set to take center stage alongside the Esports World Cup in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Jobert Yu, Chief Partnership Officer of CBZN, claims that the league isn't just about competition, it's actually more about empowerment. It is a platform for Filipina gamers to showcase their talents and prove they belong at the highest levels of esports. Now the road to glory kicks off with open qualifiers from March 7 to 9, followed by close qualifiers from March 14 to 16. Then it's on to the group stage starting March 22 onwards before the high-stakes playoffs and finals from May 23 to 25. Filipina gamers, this is your moment. In the NBA, the Cleveland Cavaliers stayed red hot, rolling past the Orlando Magic 122-82 for their 8th straight win. Ty Jerome came up big off the bench with 20 points, while Evan Mobley, Max Struss, and DeAndre Hunter each added 17 as the Cavs won for the 12th time in 13 games. Cleveland dominated from start to finish, hitting 19 of 32 from deep and shooting a scorching 56.2% overall, all without All-Star Darius Garland. Orlando's Paolo Banchero tried to keep his team afloat with 26 points, but the Magic struggled mightily, unfortunately, shooting just a 36.7% from the field and a brutal 5 of 28 from 3. The Cavs took control early, jumping out to a 34-16 lead after the first quarter and never looked back then. By the third quarter, they blew it wide open with a 29-12 run, pushing the lead to 30 before finishing the night up by as many as 42. Orlando also took a hit when Cole Anthony exited in the third with a hyperextended knee. Oh no. But with this win, Cleveland continues to make a statement in the East, showing they're a force even when shorthanded. Meanwhile, Luka Doncic let his game do the talking as he led the Los Angeles Lakers to a 107-99 victory over his former team, the Dallas Mavericks. Despite a rough shooting night, Doncic recorded a triple-double with 19 points, 15 rebounds, and 12 assists, a performance that reminded Mavs fans of what they lost. LeBron James took over late, dropping 27 points as the Lakers turned up their defense in crunch time to secure the win. Kyrie Irving led Dallas with 35 points, while Klay Thompson caught fire in the fourth quarter, scoring 11 straight and finishing with 22. But when the game was on the line, the Lakers' defense proved too much, forcing mistakes and capitalizing in transition. Doncic, who picked up a technical early in the game, downplayed the idea of a revenge game, but with Laker fans chanting, "Thank you, Nico," in reference to Mavs GM Nico Harrison, it is so clear the night had extra meaning. But in the end, though, the Lakers found their closing formula while Dallas continues searching for answers. And here are more results from around the NBA. And here's your daily dose of sports lingo. Did you know what is hydroblade in figure skating? Well, hydroblade is a deep-edge skating move where a skater leans dramatically close to the ice while gliding on one or both edges of their blades. Now, unlike traditional spirals or spread eagles perhaps, hydroblade requires extreme flexibility. It requires balance as well and even edge control, making it both a technical and artistic highlight in a routine. The move was actually popularized by Olympic champion Kurt Browning and later refined by elite skaters like Ilya Kulik and Stéphane Lambiel, who used it to add breathtaking fluidity to all of their programs. So, the next time you watch figure skating, look out for this gravity-defying glide that brings artistry and skill to a whole new level. It is time for our off-court buzzer. Filipino figure skating star Michael Martinez is back on the ice, but not what you think. This time as a mentor rather than a competitor. Martinez joined U.S. Figure Skating Hall of Famers Maya and Alex Shibutani in a clinic at the MOA Ice Rink, helping young Filipino skaters hone their skills. The two-time Winter Olympian has shifted to full-time coaching, sharing his experience to develop future champions. But despite the Philippines' tropical climate, Martinez believes Filipinos can still excel in winter sports, pointing to his own success in the country's recent gold medal in men's curling at the Asian Winter Games. Meanwhile, the Shibutani shared his optimism, saying Filipinos have what it takes to succeed in the sport. With Martinez and the Shibutani leading the way, the future of Philippine figure skating looks absolutely bright. More opportunities for training and international exposure could actually open doors for Filipino skaters to compete at the highest of all levels. Now, if given the right support, the Philippines could soon produce world-class figure skaters who can make their mark globally. And that's our roundup for tonight, the 26th of February. When we return, Stallion Laguna midfielder Natasha Alquiros joins us right here at the BNC studio. So watch out for that and more right here on The Scorecard.
Ito po si Father Nono.
Ako po si Father Fiel Pareha.
Ako si Risa Singson Kaupeng.
Kape at pandasal na po tayo. Ito po si Cardinal Chito Tagte.
Welcome back to The Scorecard. You guys can say that there is no interrupting this athlete's journey to success. Anything she puts her mind into, she focuses and simply gets things done. One kick at a time, of course. Sharing her football journey with us, please welcome to The Scorecard studio, Stallion Laguna's midfielder, Natasha Alquiros. Natasha, welcome to The Scorecard. It is so nice to see you here.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, Natasha, now we all know that you've accomplished so many things. You have had so many accolades as a football player. Can you walk us through that journey from when you started as a kid? How did you even start? Like, who brought you, that love for football?
So I started around grade 4, I'd say 9 or 10 years old, and I saw my younger brother play football and my older sister were playing football. And meanwhile, my parents enrolled me in ballet. So I was like, I saw them and I realized, I want to do that. And so when I was given the chance to play with Woodrow, so I studied in Woodrow's when I was in grade school and high school. So once I started, I just never stopped. Like once I started playing, I was hooked until the very end.
So you never stop. Compared to ballet though, what was it about football that made you fall in love with it?
I think it's something about just once I step on the pitch, it's like everything shuts out, everything zones out. And then I enter the state of flow. Right. That when I'm playing, nothing else matters and that you can give something that you're 150% focus. Because, especially like nowadays with social media and everything, it's so easy to get distracted. Right. But when I'm playing football, I'm very much in the zone and I'm focused. So that's one of my favorite things about the game.
State of flow. I love how you described it, Natasha. It seems like we're meditating here. Okay. So I know that you've also been in the football industry for more than a decade, correct, right? So can you describe to us, like, what are the changes? Like, how was the evolution of football here in the Philippines? What are the changes in that span of a decade? And what are the changes that you're still looking forward to see in the sport?
Well, let me just start off like personally. I feel that I have gained so much from the sport. So since I played and gave my all to the sport at such a young age, when I went to college, I got a full scholarship to De La Salle. And then after that, during that time, I was also picked up by the national team. And after the national team, during that same time, I was also given job opportunities. So I'd say that I'm one of the lucky few that I could say that I feel that I've been very blessed because of football on and off the pitch.
Right.
But can you continue again? What was the other question?
My other question was, what are the changes that you still want to see that you have yet to see in the sport?
All right. So when it comes to, I played for the national team for over 10 years, and this is the pre-Jeff Cheng era, before it really boomed off.
Yeah.
So I was there during the crumbling, tumbling stones of trying to figure out a coach, and then it kind of stumbles back down, and then you'd start again, and every year it felt like, you know, you're barely making it.
Yes.
And you're like looking for support, you're looking for people to back you up. So I'd say that we are already a long way from where it was like during my time with the national team, in a sense that right now there's more stability.
Right.
There's also more funding.
Right.
But I'd say that despite the fact that there's more of those and there's more scouting, let's say locally, internationally, there's even a league now. There's a women's league, there's a women's cup that, let's say, 10, 15 years ago, there wasn't. So we are on the right path towards a better national team, a better women's football, but I'd say that it's still not yet enough.
Correct.
There's still so much to be done, especially if you compare us to, let's say, the other Southeast Asian countries, to the other neighboring countries around us. There's still not enough support, or I'd say the building blocks that really make something that can last long term. So we still have to build on the other aspects of the game to, I guess, make it more sustainable.
Right. Okay, so I wanted to focus on your word support. Like, how else can we support women in football, for example? Like, obviously, like we understand, you know, like we have the public sector, the private sector. I want to focus on us fans. Me, I love football. I love watching you guys do your thing on the field, on the pitch. How can we as Filipinos gather as a community and kind of give you guys the support that you need when it comes to preparing for a tournament?
So let's say on the local end, the Women's League is about to start. So I'd say that for fans, it's actually showing up to the games, watching the games online. Because when the fans show up, the market, the people who are in charge of investing in this, they'll see that there's a demand for the sport. When they see that there's a demand for the sport, then they'll invest more.
Correct.
And then, you know, everything follows. That when people invest more, then there's more chances for it to succeed. Maybe more clubs will have better funding, more players can get paid better to do it longer as well. Because the challenge of women in football especially is that some people choose to have a family.
Yes.
Some people choose that it's not as stable, let's say, as men's football. You don't earn as much.
And this is reality, yeah.
And so you stop playing at a younger age as compared to the male counterparts. So the question that we always have to ask ourselves is that how do we make sure that women in football stay in football longer? Because usually after collegiate football, that's when they decide to take up something else instead of to continue their path to get better and better and better. So that's something that hopefully that if fans show up more, whether it's at the collegiate games, the youth games, and in the women's open as well, and the women's national team, then there'd be more funding also being put by the private sectors into women's football.
It's like a domino effect, right? Yeah, I really love this perspective when you talked about that, because I feel like it's not talked about enough. You know, there are a lot of stories that are hidden behind cameras that we don't really know about, especially when it comes to the real stories of our women athletes. But I wanted to focus that, being a woman in a male-dominated sport, what are the challenges, at least for you as a pro player, what are the challenges that you saw as a pro player and now being the president of the Philippine Women's Football Association?
So I'll start first with the Women's Football Association. So that's actually something that started out during the pandemic when everything stopped for football. You know, we were slowly on this path to getting more support for women's football, and then everything stopped. The pandemic happened. And so myself and a few other people, we decided to like really think about it and how can we make sure that there is support for women's football? Like what can we do like individually? And so that's how we did the Women's Football Association.
Right.
So the start of that was to bring like-minded people together and to at least make some noise online.
Yeah.
And that's how it started. Eventually though, the great thing I'd say about that was that, because I ended up moving to Thailand for a couple of years.
To play?
My husband ended up playing.
Okay.
And I ended up having a baby during that time.
Okay.
So in my head, I was like, how can I support the game even though I'm not playing the game? And so that's how we started with the Women's Football Association. And at the same time, through that as well, other things were born. I'd say that one of the best things about the Women's Association was that reconnecting other people in the game, including, I'm not sure if you know them, but Venice Furio,
yes,
Kit Kat Revilla,
yes, Kit Kat,
the likes
yes,
of Pam Puri. So all these people who are so active online, they're never the face of the game, but they're the ones who are always covering the game. They're always the ones who write the articles. They're the ones who make sure that there's social media buzz about these players. We were able to connect all together, and eventually they've actually formed Laban Filipinas themselves. They were able to form Laban Filipinas, which aim is, of course, to be that one-stop shop for women's football.
Right.
So anything you want to know or need to know, that's
It's
where
there,
they do it.
yeah.
So it's nice that we were able to, through that association, we were able to build people together. And then now all these people were able to connect together, and now they're doing their own things as well to find ways to make sure that women's football continues to develop.
Right, exactly. I mean, I love that, Natasha. Thank you so much for sharing that. All right, now we can talk about women in sports day on end, you know, but well, the last question would be, because we have actually a lot of viewers here who are aspiring footballers as well, and surprisingly, a lot of these are actually women. Now, what is one thing, or what is one advice in terms of resilience in being a woman in a male-dominated sport? What is something that you would like to share with them?
You know, I'd add to that I know it's a male-dominated sport, but let's look at the stats, or facts in the Philippines. We are ranked, the women's team is ranked much higher than the men's team.
I mean,
not
hello,
saying anything
World
about
Cup,
the men.
yeah.
Like, you know, we went to the World Cup.
Exactly.
We won the AFF championship that was just in the, in the Philippines in 2022. So there is, now you could actually see it, there is a path to success. I'd say that during my time playing, I wasn't so sure. You couldn't really see it, the direct line from being a player to playing professionally, and even like your career in the national team taking off, or like where it would exactly lead. But now there are blueprints.
Yes.
So that for the young girls out there, it's that there is a chance. There will always be a chance as long as you don't stop playing. Because it's when you give up, then you don't have a chance at all. But if you continue to play and enjoy also what you're doing. It can't just be because, oh, you want to be one thing. It also has to be because you enjoy doing it. Because if you're doing it out of pressure, or because you're looking for this one specific goal, what happens if it doesn't come through? Then mentally you'll suffer, because you'll be like, oh, it's all for nothing. But it's not. But if you enjoy the journey, you'll realize that even though, let's say that you don't become a professional football player, that can still open the doors into other aspects of the game.
Yes.
You can work as commentator, you can work in management, in media, in photography, that there is more than one aspect of women's football where you can be successful. And maybe your playing journey can take you to those other paths in your life. So I hope that the young girls now, especially knowing that they have the likes of Ina Palacios, Hailey Long, people to look up to see a clear path of success as well, is that they don't stop playing. And now that they know that there are football clubs, there's Stallion Laguna, and of course there's Kaya. There's also the other younger clubs, such as Tuloy, Beach Hut, Bella Academy. It's so nice to see that there's so many more youth women's football programs, but as well as senior programs that are building up and shaping up. So women's football is becoming more and more competitive.
I love that. Natasha, you are one of the reasons why we still have hope in this sport. Thank you so much, Natasha, for guesting. That was a very insightful discussion, and we'll see you again soon for sure.
Thank you.
All right, when the scorecard returns, we will look into the upcoming football matchup so you can keep your eyes on the prize.
Hello and welcome to Follow the Money. I'm Rain Musni. Join us as we explore the tools and insights you need to jumpstart your financial journey.
We empower.
This country deserves a real choice in the next election.
We motivate.
Do not invest money that you're not able to afford to lose.
Changes that are vital.
We're monitoring the sale of these products online.
Follow the money with Rain Musni.
Keep it here on the Bilyonaryo News Channel. Always on top.
Every morning,
We won't mention
let's start your day right and laugh with fun. Join Paulo Del Rosario
So excited to bring it all here for you.
and Asis Carrillo.
Always a pleasure sharing our mornings with you. Don't forget, wherever this day takes you, choose joy and spread kindness.
And Monique Guzon.
Your mornings are more fun with us. Join us in the next hour for stories and conversations that matter.
Only here on
It's a beautiful day.
Magandang gabi, ako po si Pinky Webb. At ako naman si Corina Sanchez Rojas. Simulan na natin ang agenda. Hawak na ng Korte Suprema ngayon ng isa pang petisyon para ipatigil ang impeachment trial ni Vice President Sara Duterte.
Tinuturing na deadliest year ang 2024 para sa mga mamamahayag. Hindi naman papatinag si Senate President Cheese Escudero sa mga nag-uudyok sa kanya na simulan na ang impeachment trial.
Sa bawat issue, may anggulo at ang balita may agenda.
Welcome back to the Scorecard. It is time to keep your eyes on the prize. We've got an electric matchup in the Philippine Football League this weekend. Dynamic Herb Cebu FC takes on Kaya FC Iloilo and what promises to be a heated battle at the Dynamic Herb Borromeo Sports Complex this Saturday, March 1, 2025. Do not miss that, you guys. So, let's break it down. Where they stand. Let's start with Kaya FC Iloilo. They're actually topping the league currently with 28 points, boasting a plus 24 goal differential, 34 goals scored and 10 conceded. Now, they remain the team here to beat, not only this season, honestly, but even in the seasons to come, honestly. While Dynamic Herb Cebu FC sits third, as you guys can see, with 20 points, showing balance with 23 goals scored and 11 conceded. The big question is, can they actually close the gap on the leaders? Let's find out. Now, what's at stake here? For Kaya FC, for example, this is actually about staying at the top and proving they're the best team in the PFL. They've got Manila Digger FC breathing down their necks, just 1 point behind. Now, a slip-up here could open the door for a change in the standings. For Dynamic Herb Cebu, on the other hand, this is a must-win if they actually want to stay in the championship conversation for the PFL. With only 8 points separating them from the leaders, a victory could actually inject some serious momentum into their campaign. Kaya FC's strikers, they've been lethal in front of the goal, as we know them for, averaging over 3 goals per game. The team's offensive firepower will be the biggest test for Cebu's backline. Cebu's defensive wall with only 11 goals conceded. Cebu has been one of the better defensive teams, if you guys ask me. Now, if they keep their shape and absorb the pressure, they might just have a chance to actually grind out a result. Actually, the last time these two met, Kaya FC edged out a close win, but Cebu is a different beast when they're actually playing at home. Playing in front of their fans at Dynamic Herb Borromeo Sports Complex, they will be looking for absolute revenge. Kaya FC is the slight favorite here given their form and league position, but hey, don't count out Cebu, okay? They've been a tough opponent at home, and with a passionate crowd behind them, they could actually pull off an upset. So, football fans, buckle up. This is one you won't want to miss, and that wraps up tonight's thrilling matchup preview so you can keep your eyes on the prize. Now, before we go, think on this. From Argentine footballer who plays for Inter Miami and captains Argentina, one of the greatest players of all time with 8 Ballon d'Or awards and 45 major trophies, including the 2022 FIFA World Cup, Lionel Messi once said, "You have to fight to reach your dream. You have to sacrifice and work hard for it." And with that said, thank you once again for joining us tonight. We will see you again tomorrow on The Scorecard, where sports is our business and business is our sport on the Bilyonaryo News Channel. This is Erika Kristensen. Have a blessed evening.